Everybody now, we all got ADD. There's only one of me. Come on, everybody now. You want some ADD? Come on, show me how. Show me down south. Blow slow now. Stop, get off the couch. Come with me, wow. Let's go down to the Waffle House. Stop it now. You better watch your mouth. Step off on this kid and let it all out. I said, we all got ADD. Oh, come on. So, on for today's little journey. So, I figured, while I'm trying to be a noble wise man, let me just get it all out there. So, I just recently heard, and I heard it another time, so I know it's got to be relevant, that, and I heard it, and I said to my wife, and she turned on, her eyes lit up, and she knew it well too. The saying goes something along the lines of this: why do all drug addicts believe in God? Give you a second to think and ponder on that. Simple answer: why do all drug addicts, people that have been addicted to drugs, believe in God? Know there's a God. Why? It made very good sense, because they've met the devil, seen the devil, something along those lines. Most all you should know what I'm talking about. I just heard it recently, so it's got to be in flux, in whatever circulation. So I can vouch to this. Many times in my life that I felt like I was being attacked, and I never really understood or knew why. The older I get, the more I can see it, the more that's gone on here with the coincidences in the past year that I've come to terms and thought about them. Did it really strengthened my belief in a higher power, in a God, and something else. So, there once again, I've run, if I've come across, call it what you will, face to face with the devil many a times on many occasions. And how do I know? Because it was always at that time and in that segment, whatever you're weakest at, whatever you want, whatever you really want at that time will come to you. This is how I know. Always. And it always comes at the wrong time, and that would mess you up. This is how you can tell the difference between good and evil, heaven and hell, devil and God. So all the time, this kind of stuff would come at me. Starting at a young age, like I said, I have ADD, ADHD. This was prescribed Ritalin at 5. At 5, I was being, attacked. And then I on to high school, and I just always felt like there was more at hand than you could see to the eye. I always knew that and felt it, even as a kid. And so we happen to be, we have, our neurological is kind of off, but it's just different. We're just wired differently. So I'm a firm believer. I tap into this, and I've been tapping into this and making these coincidences happen, putting the energy into it. You can see here for days, I'll be talking about somebody and they'll come across my path. It's happened 4 or 5 times in this year alone. You can see it right here in coincidence videos for days. Like 16, 17 videos of nothing but coincidences. And I haven't even gotten them all. There's some I don't even know yet. Like, for instance, there's many that say, new coincidence, wow, whatever. I've forgotten about a lot of all that, And so, still, something will happen, and I will get this feeling and this call it whatever you will, spiritually attacked, good and bad. It's like I said, it's happened to be my whole life, and now I can kind of put a finger on it, right? So how do I know? How I can give you examples, and I'm not supposed to talk about this, but we're going to talk about it anyways. I worked for a doctor, okay? My wife don't want me to talk about this, but I'm going to keep it as clean and to the point as I can. So I discussed this. I got a stack of leads from this guy, and I go and start doing my own work, and one of the jobs I do is for a doctor. 44-year-old guy. He's got a 22-year-old wife, new wife. He was gay, bisexual, and had this gorgeous, knockout, gorgeous wife, right? She was very good looking, okay? And so I went to work for him, and this girl was around a lot, and, was making passes at me to keep it as, nonchalant. And so it was just a wild, crazy scene, right? So we go out to all these clubs, and we're hanging out on the weekends. This is how I'm finding and getting work. There's this doctor, his name is Greg, okay? And he's well-to-do, and he's got 2 or 3 other brothers, and his 2 or 3 other brothers, they're all well-to-do. He's a doctor, he's a lawyer, something. They own a bunch of bars, clubs, and restaurants, right? That's what they did with their money. So you can tell when these people that come for money. So come to find out, the guy was bisexual, the doctor was working for, but he had 2 brothers, and they were wealthy too, and I would all the time be meeting them at restaurants and bars, places he owned. I would go look at work, places we just hang out because he owned. We'd go there, on the weekends when we're partying, and there was, he was having a friend come in every weekend. Every weekend he would have this guy come in, and it would be a different guy from all over the world. Shit. Damn. I'm not gonna give this video up. I'm on my way to the chiropractor. My arm is killing me, and I think they're calling. My arm is killing me. So this doctor and his brothers, you could tell they were into some weird shit, right? Kind of dark. All the people around were, you could tell, probably into all kind of different weird stuff, right? Come to find out, the guy and his wife both into bisexual stuff. They were trying to get me and my wife to sleep with them, and wound up lying to my wife, and the girl told my wife I slept with her, and I didn't. And so we were around each other a lot. I worked up at his lake house one time, and she was up there, and she was in a bikini, and my wife came up there with a gun, and all hell broke loose. Anyways, the people that we were going out with and hanging out with on the weekends, you could tell they were all, I don't know what not exactly gothic, but you could definitely tell it, into witchcraft and this kind of stuff. So we would have conversations all the time, and they would tell us they would go to these places in that New Orleans has a regular Mardi Gras, and they have a satanic witch Mardi Gras and a gay parade. They're telling us, me and my wife, all this, like feeling us out and this kind of stuff. The last 4 numbers to this doctor's cell phone was some 4666 was the last 4 numbers on his cell phone, and at the time where there was out of 4 numbers, it was the 666 was the key punch to get into his house. I was working at his house for a lengthy period of time, and I painted his whole house and did this, that, and the third. And so I had to key to get into his house, and his keypad to his house was had 666 in it, right? So they're into all this kind of stuff, and he's telling my wife all this, and me all, and so he would have different guys from all over the country and all over the world come in every single weekend. Every weekend, some guy from somewhere around the world would come, and they would we'd all party together. One time we came back after partying, and they were out in the hot tub, and guys were taking their clothes off, and the girl I'm talking about was about to take her clothes off, and tells my wife she's going to respect her, so she's not going to do it in front of me. But they were swingers, they were Satanists, devil in the flesh, right? So the devil came to me. Like I said, there was temptation. I don't want to get into it too much, but the girl was very, very attractive. Okay, very, very good looking. And so it was. And with him and all his numbers was 666. He's constantly telling me all this stuff about these parties. He say, he's not saying satanic, but might as well be, and describing all this stuff to us every time we'd get together. We'd get drunk, we'd eat eggs, we'd roll together, be a bunch of people around, and it would be one guy from out of town. One time was a guy from Silicon Valley, and that guy wound up offering my wife $35,000 to sleep with her, and we almost considered it and didn't. Thank God we didn't, but we were considering the notion. And so this was the type of people. That guy, that Silicon Valley dude, he was real muscular, good looking guy, looked like he'd be on the cover of GQ magazine. And one weekend he goes off and he sleeps with the doctor's wife. They all go to Buckhead. They're out and about drinking. And Buckhead is, at this time, is happening. And he's got bars and restaurants in Buckhead. So we're all the time in Buckhead, Atlanta, partying. I'm not with him this one time. And his wife and the Silicon Valley guy went missing. He calls me one night asking me if I'd seen him, and then he called me the next day on Sunday, and was crying, pouring his heart out, and kind of asking, trying to get my advice. I was friends with them, so I was in with their little circle by this time, and it was a circus for floozies, people with money, people that practice witchcraft, people that do homosexual acts, people that do homosexual acts in groups and gatherings. He offered me $100 an hour to serve hors d'oeuvres at his party at the lake house. Once a year they would get together, and he's saying this asking me right in front of asking my wife, telling them they have parties once a year at the lake house, and they want to pay me $100 an hour to serve hors d'oeuvres naked. Right? No BS. And he's, basically asking, me and my wife went up to the lake. We're up the lake, we were having this discussion, and this was the average discussions that we had. So he would have a lake party, and it was known to have 60 people up there running around naked, and so their lake party was coming up. And the following week, I didn't go to the lake party, and the following week I was painting the lake house. It was around the time my wife came up there, and this girl's washing the boat in a bikini, okay? She's, mysteriously now all of a sudden she's hanging out at the lake house while I'm painting the lake house, right? So luckily my brother-in-law, TJ, was with me at the time, and so he was always had an alibi, and these were insane, crazy times. And I remember all their crazy conversations and whatnot. She had the young girl named Suzanne, 22 years old, and he's 44. She's a gold digger. She had this other ex-husband that was a model, and her parents were telling her not to leave him. He cheated on her, and her parents were telling her, this is this is the stuff they're telling us, right? This is what kind of people they are. Their parents, instilling in them that cheating's okay and this kind of stuff. Ain't no telling what was going on with the doctor and his family, but they were, like I said, they were out there. There was no off switch with these people, right? They would get together on the weekends and would start rolling, and then eventually me and my wife would have to leave because they had a hot tub at their house. People would start getting undressed in the hot tub, and one of these nights, this guy offered my wife $35,000, and we were only together. Me and my wife were together a year or less, okay? And so, this day and time, even 10 years after that, it never been thought of. But we were young, dumb, and full of cum, and we came close to it. My wife backed out at the last minute. She probably would divorce me if she hears me saying this, but I doubt it. Love you, sweetheart. I hope y'all enjoyed it. So like I said, I've constantly been bumping into the devil. It's just, I'll go clean, and I'll be going the straight and narrow path, right? And bam, I'll get a phone call. I'll run out of work, and I'll have to go put myself in a precarious situation, and it happens. It's happened like dominoes. Like I said, just like the start of the video, I'm telling you, people say, how do drug addicts know that there's God? Because they've met the devil. We've been there. We've seen there. If you ever been on drugs, you know the feeling. That can only be from, stuff not of this world. You get strung out on drugs. If you ever smoked crack and run out, it is the devil. You experience that, and then you will understand and I hope you don't have to understand. I hope I'm explaining it good enough. You go and smoke crack and you run out of money, you've met the devil, okay? You go shooting up dope and get yourself on a $20 a day habit. One of these days you'll meet the devil. You'll see it. You see it on a daily basis. Become a drug addict. Been there, lived it, seen it, ate it, breathed it, smelled it. But I have to get rid of it. And I hope this helps somebody. I hope you guys, I'm putting it out in the right way. I hope you taking it I hope you perceive it how I'm giving it. Love you all. Stay ADD. It was 1747.